Chapter 1, A War Letter Becomes a Love Letter. Empress Qingyu, with 12-star Luo temples under her command, each of which was so powerful that it was comparable to a flourishing dynasty. In the hands of an emperor soldier, once made the world countless righteous and devil cultivators fear. Is ranked in the top 10 of the city book, rumor has it, the beauty of the posture of the immortal as banishment, often wearing a white dress, beautiful like that above the 9 heavens Xian female, unquestionable. At this moment, looking at the misty sky cloud hall, Niechen's heart is cold. He had come to see Empress Qingyu today, and, moreover, he was still giving a letter of war to this towering being that one could only look up to. That group of old things that don't know how to die. Niechen cursed in his heart. A month ago, he had crossed over to this Lanchuan world. Unfortunately, it was still crossing over to a demonic cultivator disciple whose cultivation physique could almost be called waste. Not only had he not learned any cultivation techniques, he had even been used as a pawn by those bastards from the underworld sect to come and give a war order to Empress Qingyu. What qualifications did a small underworld sect have to issue a war letter to Empress Qingyu? In reality, the underworld sect had long since hidden in the mountains after writing the war letter. Those old guys were just trying to blow off some steam with it, but they actually didn't have any guts to fight against Empress Qingyu. When Niechen were split into 5 horses, they could use it as a way to show off to the other clans and say something. We also once had a battle with the Clear Moon Empress. The proof is that the Clear Moon Empress killed one of our sect's disciples who had placed a war order. In order to prevent Niechen from escaping, the underworld sect had even sent an elder to escort him up the mountain as a hero, laying down a letter of war to Empress Qingyu. But anyone with a brain knows that doing this kind of thing is simply certain death. Niechen's heart is full of moms selling pies. He has no useful golden finger is just, this is only a month's work to let himself go to the death. Then what's the point of traveling to this world? Walking step by step on top of the white misty cloud ladder, Niechen's mood became heavier and heavier. Slowly, he walked into the heavenly cloud hall. Amidst the clouds and mist, an incomparably delicate figure floated and sat in the distance. Her phoenix eyes were half-curved to hide the amber, and her skin was like congealed grease that resembled moonlight. Her flawless face was like that of an exiled fairy, cold and haughty. In the midst of absolute beauty, revealing the majesty that one would never dare to infringe upon. Looking at this figure, Niechen couldn't help but stutter slightly. Although he had long since learned from the rumors that the Qingyu Empress had a beautiful appearance, he hadn't imagined that the Qingyu Empress could be as beautiful as this. If those flamboyant stars from his previous life were put here for comparison, I'm afraid that they could only be like pheasants meeting a phoenix, with absolutely no possibility of comparison. Say it, you, a disciple of the devil sect, went through a lot of trouble to make connections and find me for what exactly? A light and melodious voice came out, just like the orchid in the empty valley, one could not help but be mesmerized by it. However, this melodious voice was mixed with the same majesty that one would never dare to infringe upon, sending chills down the spine of one's heart. Suddenly, a burst of pressure came from the surroundings like substance. The pressure of an emperor-level powerhouse. Niechen's body trembled, and if he hadn't held on strongly with his willpower, he would have been unable to help but kneel down. Disciple has come to deliver a letter from Empress Qingyu. Niechen could only grit his teeth. Oh, a letter? Present it. The Clear Moon Empress' gaze was slightly condensed, as if she was slightly interested in Niechen's ability to hold up under the pressure. Yes. Niechen walked up with the letter in hand, feeling that death was getting closer and closer to him. The strength of an emperor-level powerhouse was enough to shake mountains and rivers, and it was only a matter of time before Empress Qingyu could kill herself with a thought. The moment she saw the contents of this letter, I'm afraid, it would be her own death. As he watched, death was approaching step by step. Ding! Congratulations to the host for successfully activating the system. Just then, a ringing sound suddenly came from Niechen's ears. System! Niechen's heart shook with great joy. He himself had finally waited. In a desperate situation, if one had a system, one might actually be able to survive the hands of Empress Qingyu. The mechanical-like voice continued, detected that the host is on the verge of extinction. Given that the host has just arrived in the Lanchuan world, the system's auxiliary function can be turned on once free of charge to help the host raid the Qingyu Empress. Does the host choose to turn it on? Of course. Niechen replied without hesitation. Without the system's help, the situation at hand was basically equivalent to a dead end. Nowadays, the only thing that could save himself was the system. Ding, the system mission has opened. Please have the host deliver the letter to Empress Qingyu. That's it? Niechen froze. He had thought that the system's function would be to help him escape instantaneously, or briefly enhance his strength or something like that. But nothing seemed to have happened. What are you hesitating for? At the same time, the Clear Moon Empress swept her gaze over Niechen's stopped form, and the icy cold in her eyes was as incomparably cold as the third 9 winters. Niechen clenched his teeth, realizing that there was no way back for him. Since that was the case, he could only harden his heart and trust the system. The words in the letter are much offended, so please have a look at it, Empress. In the clouds and mist, the elegant white clothes gently fluttered, the figure with the posture of a city was immortal and leisurely, her long hair fluttered, her muscles were flawless, just like a piece of beautiful jade that was finely carved without a single flaw. Beautiful to make people's hearts flutter, beautiful to make people mesmerized. Only, an invisible pressure enveloped, the air seemed to carry a bit of golden light, straight pressure chen some breathless. This was the strength of the clear moon empress, and just by standing there, she could emit such an awe-inspiring aura. The delicate white jade hand that was like a soft razor gently took the letter from Chen's hand. Chen stood quietly in place, only waiting for the judgment to come. Every minute and every second that passed seemed to be like frying on hot oil. However, after waiting for a long time, he still couldn't wait for any response. Chen raised his head in some confusion, only to find that Empress Qingyue's body was actually trembling slightly due to her gaze, and the delicate hand holding the envelope was also shaking slightly with some difficulty in controlling it. Empress? The righteous cultivators guarding the sides and wearing armor seemed to have noticed something and hurriedly panicked, wanting to inquire. All of you step back, I have something to discuss with this person alone. At this moment, Empress Qingyue's voice actually had a hint of panic hidden in it. But Empress, could it be that what I said doesn't work anymore? Or do you guys think that my status as an empress is just for show? Empress Qingyue's icy cold voice came out, instantly causing those who tried to stay to feel an extremely majestic pressure.